How you been, buddy?
I felt better,
Yeah.
but overall good enough. That's why I'm drinking Gatorade this time.
Oh, where'd you get that Gatorade from?
Actually, so Moose Fest sponsored a Taekwondo tournament, and there were some leftovers. So cheers.
Cheers. Are you out of liquid death or what?
No, but I need the electrolytes.
Yeah. Anything new in what's going on in Funky Moose Records this week?
Well, we're getting some feedback on the website itself, where a lot of the new records are out of stock, which is explainable because the big importers like Universal, Sony, and Warner are all behind on getting inventory and records produced. So even, I'm not saying it's Adele's fault, but you know,
it's Adele's fault.
But it's Adele's fault, yeah. So even a lot of new releases are being delayed because they just the pressing plants can't keep up, and Universal can't keep up with the demand, and they don't have enough stock, which means our supplier doesn't have enough stock, which means we don't have enough stock. So a lot of the records that are on the website now are marked as unavailable simply because our supplier doesn't have stock, which is frustrating. I get that. And the way our website works is you have to go to the product page itself to see if it's in stock or not. So we're trying to build something that you can see that one step earlier, so you don't have to go to the product itself.
Right.
So that's kind of sort of in the planning process. That's probably the biggest news. Well,
from the week.
It's not great news, but you know, that's kind of the explanation of
what's happening, right? It's what's going on. It was brought to the attention, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know, I went on the website too, and I went to a couple random records, and I saw that notification too that it's out of stock or unavailable. And yeah, that freaking that's not fun when you're going like, if that was me going to purchase a record and the first three I go to, I'm going to be like, well, this sucks, and I'm going to go to a different site. You know what I mean?
That other site probably doesn't have the stock either, but
right. True.
That's but I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Would there be, and like, so what currently right now, Mark, like, what do you have in mind? Like, if I'm going to buy a record and I click on the record, instead of seeing out of stock, like, what do you have in mind for the customer to, like, should it even be there if it's not in stock? Like on the home page or whatever, you know what I mean?
So the records on the homepage should be in stock or at least available, because they're used records. The new records are a little tricky because the inventory normally changes so fast that by the time we take them off the site, we need to have a system that, you know, disables a product if it's not available, but also re-enables it when it is available.
When it is available.
And that system is not available. So we'd have to build something that does that. That's not in the planning yet. Plus, you can sign up for an email notification when the record is available. So instead of removing the record off the website, we want it available so you can sign up for that email.
Right.
So the plan is to make it obvious that, you know, the record is not available at this time before you have to go to the product page. But we still do want people to go to that product page so they can enter their email address to get notified when it's back in stock.
Right. Right. Thanks, Adele.
Yeah.
We have some fun local talent coming in this evening with us, you guys. We'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves. But before we get into it, if you guys can just give us a like and subscribe on the channel here. Feel free to put any comments in the comment section. You guys get that algorithm stirring up for us. Just one little click. If you guys enjoyed the episode or not, like it's going to help us circulate around the wide web, right? So hope you guys enjoy the episode. This episode of the Sit Down Podcast is brought to you by InspiredVaporCompany.com. Well, Inspired Vapor Company. Their website is InspiredVaporCompany.com. Go check them out, you guys. They're there to help you quit smoking, transition into, or using vape to help transition into quitting smoking. Know what I mean? Great guys. Love working with them. And yeah, check out their website. If you make a purchase there on the site or in store, use promo code Moose10 for 10% off.
Scott?
Hi there, Joel.
Hello.
Hey guys.
You're both there.
All right.
Hello.
Yes, we are. Look at that.
We were just trying to figure out how to put a funky background on here, but I don't know if we can.
I would love to help you out there, but I really don't know how to do that.
I'm Scott Patrick,
I'm Heidi Munro, and we are Munro and Patrick.
and this is episode 104
Of the Sit Down Podcast.
of the Sit Down Podcast. I was forgetting something.
So welcome, you guys. Thank you for joining us. This is I'm pretty excited to have you guys on. Been following you guys around socials a little bit there in the past little while, and actually, Heidi, correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I'm going to lead into this, right?
Okay, that's all right.
Now I don't know if you remember who I am, but I feel like 20 some years ago, you taught at St. Louis School? Am I right?
I did. It's longer than that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I want the stories now.
It was longer than that. Were you that little bugger that always got into trouble?
Oh, probably. That was good. Yeah, when I always knew who you were, and
Oh,
yeah, I graduated at St. Louis School, and my mom was Noreen Gaudet,
yes.
and that's essentially how I knew who you were, because I remember Mom talking about you, and I don't remember if you guys ever worked together, but I know you guys had shared the stage back then like a few times,
Yeah.
right? So then that's how I got in touch with you. I was like, oh, I don't know if you remember me, but like, this is who my mom was, and this is what we're doing. So
Oh, that was so long ago. I think my oldest son was probably maybe 6 or 7. So it was quite some time ago.
it was, yeah, we're not young chaps
Not
anymore.
young,
Young, eh?
go there, but
Yeah. Awesome. But you guys are crushing it, man. Like I was, going through some bios and stuff. I did notice that you guys were nominated this year for the Country Album of the Year. So congrats on that, you guys. That's freaking awesome. Hell yeah. Have you guys been still riding that wave a little bit, or what's been going on the last few months?
The last few months have been a little slow, but that's pretty normal for this time of year. But which was kind of good because we were busy November through December. Even with the pandemic going on, we managed, quite a few shows through those months. So we did a New Year's show, and then we did a show for a friend of ours in Fort Saskatchewan at the beginning of January.
Yeah.
And then now we're
Heck yeah.
Yeah, now we're just looking to book for spring and summer basically.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Our summer was really quite busy. We got a few festivals in with the big bands, and a really nice summer tour for Scott and I. A lot of house concerts, a lot of parking lots. We met a lot of very, very cool Saskatchewan folks. So
Nice.
Yeah,
Was it?
I looked at on your website under pandemic year. You have a bunch of pictures there.
yeah.
Did you play with Chris Henderson?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, we actually produced a show because during all this time, we still wanted to really nice theater venues, we still wanted to keep, you know, a bit of a scale on the shows, and we wanted people to be able to come in theaters to be able to present, because they couldn't present big bands.
Right.
And we got a hold of a couple of really great friends, Jack Semple and Chris Henderson, and we said, you know, we want to put the acoustic sessions together. Do you guys want to do some theater shows? And we just absolutely, we really love it. You know, we do some songs together.
Yeah, it's a fun show. Like it's like each of us do like a half an hour, 40 minutes. Separate, and then as the next act is coming on, we usually do a song together. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, Joel. Episode how much? Which episode was Chris on?
Oh geez, I can tell you that he was our first country artist that was on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun one too. I think that was, how long was that one? Was that like a 3-hour episode?
Yeah.
Was Chris telling stories? Yes, that would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got. There's some good stories in there too.
Blackmail stories, no doubt.
Yeah, that was before I learned how to edit properly too. So if you guys want to hear the scoop, go watch the episode on
the unedited Chris Henderson. Yeah.
We've seen that a few times. So.
Yeah, he's awesome. I'd love to. Chris, this is an open invite, man. You're welcome here anytime. I don't even remember what episode that was. I'm gonna say in the 20s, maybe.
No, it wasn't that far ago.
You don't think so?
Not that long. No. I'll do some digging.
Yeah, you're better at that than I am for sure.
Okay.
You guys did get to play Candle Lake this last summer too with Will Ardell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. On a boat.
On the boat. Oh my goodness.
Like on pontoon boats. They had like 3 pontoon boats linked together or 2.
Yeah.
And so they had like, each act kind of played on one pontoon boat. Then they had a local band doing music in between while we set up and stuff. Yeah. And we just set up on the water and people could pull up their boats or just get in the water. Unfortunately, it was like the only
windy,
not 45 day of the whole summer. So people weren't in the water as much as the other weeks that we heard about, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It ended up getting like relocated too, right? Because we were actually there. We did end up leaving early though, because we had all our kids with us and stuff, and then they wanted to go tubing and everything. So like we didn't get to stay for the whole show, but we were perched up on the front of the beach there, and we were yelling at Will and everything.
Oh, that's great. Nice.
Yeah. So we did catch some of that show, but yeah, it was. Were we late, Mark? Because we didn't know where the frick.
No, yeah,
we had to be at like one beach, and then it got moved to another or something.
The last minute, just because it was like the waves wouldn't have been good for the stage that we were.
Yeah.
As it was, it felt like you had to get your sea legs for like songs.
Well, yeah. Have you ever done anything like that in the past, or is this a first?
No, that was it. Like that was the first time, and it literally like the first couple songs, you're just kind of.
You're trying to look really cool.
Yeah, all at
you're
the same
doing
time.
it.
Yeah. It's part of the show.
Yeah.
Chris Henderson was episode 36.
There you go.
I wasn't that far off.
No, I guess not.
I think he's due to come back. Yeah.
How often do you guys do the podcast?
We've been consecutive every Monday. The episodes drop, and we started it
March 2020.
March or February? February of 2020, I think we started.
I can find that out too.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Oh man, we had Theory of a Dead Man on one episode. We've had
I saw that. I thought, good for you guys.
Oh yeah, I hook, lined, and synced that one. It was so funny how
that was a good story.
I kind of trolled them. That's kind of how I got it. But they were like, through the pandemic, there wasn't much live music going on. So those guys started their own podcast online. And I was a fan of them, and I was watching the show, and it just so happened that on Instagram, Tyler had put out a post. If you guys have any questions for the show, like send us a 15-second video or whatever. And, we'll try and answer it. So my question was a question about Weapons, because Weapons had toured with them.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wanted them to, it was an invitation to come on our show, and they could explain how they coined the name W3 Apons instead of Weapons.
Yeah.
And then I was putting like little blips of the podcast logo in there, and they accepted. So that's how we ended up getting them on the show. And I was one of the episodes I was pretty nervous about, actually. It was, you know, growing up listening to them, and then I was like, holy shit, like they're right there.
Yeah,
That's
they're
pretty fun.
coming.
I rode the elevator with him once. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was during Juno's.
Oh, is
It's
it?
like, yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
funny
I
guys.
didn't say anything. It was just stood there.
You're there.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
what are you gonna say?
Yeah. How's it going?
Right?
Good.
Yeah. Hey, I play guitar too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a band too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay, this is my floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
No,
talk. Good
no
talk.
13th floor here. You guys have been in the industry for quite some time now. Can you guys a good question I think I have is, what would you say is like a major difference in the industry from like maybe a decade or from when you started from today? Like,
Okay.
The
Woo!
pay isn't any different.
Okay. Yeah. The pay is pretty much the same. Well, gee, you know what? I'm gonna go back to 1990, and it was an incredible time for music. Like I was at that time playing 6 nights a week. You know, a lot of those gigs you really didn't want because it was club dates, but you could always work. And you know, and in Saskatoon there probably would have been 8 or 10 clubs to play at. You know,
right.
So music was, it just always was, and it was everywhere, and it was good music and great rooms and lots of theaters, lots of venues, and that's the difference, you know.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
It is harder to find work and to find venues, and especially the budgets, you know, because like, well, just to say it the way it is, you know, like the cost of living goes up over those years, and the cost of everything else goes up over those years. But you know, there still is this thing about music and about the arts. Yeah, you know, we do it because we love it. We absolutely love it. We can't imagine not doing it. But geez, it's our jobs, you know, because we kind of provide a service like everybody else does, you know.
Does it also have to do, you think, with new technologies like Spotify? Like,
oh, for sure.
People thinking, why would I go to a live show if I could just, you know, press play on my phone?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's a certain, like, it might be a generational thing too, that like, I know when I first moved to Saskatoon, I could go out like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to like Lydia's or Bud's or like a coffee shop and see live entertainment like
everywhere
all the time, you know. And I would just like, it would just go, like, it was probably cheaper to go out too, but it was just something fun to do and interact with people. And now, like, now people could go on YouTube and be like, oh, I want to see this major artist, I'll just watch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, like technology is, there's no doubt it's ruined the industry.
Oh, for sure,
like,
it has.
Like monetarily, and just the fact that people have so much access to their artists and so much access to their material that they don't necessarily need to go and see them live if they don't want to.
Right. So that's the social media part, you mean?
Yeah.
Like the band I want to see, I know what they're doing because I just saw on Instagram what they did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's I think the mystery is gone.
Yeah.
The mystery that used to be there.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is that even as artists, we have to be kind of open books. Like, it's like, hey, watch us rehearse, watch us do all this and that. Like when I was a kid, you didn't get to see your favorite band rehearse. They didn't come on the TV and ask your opinion on their music.
Exactly. That was always like a treat for me. Like if I would see like not just let's say a Metallica music video that comes out, but getting to see like maybe a 2-minute blip of the behind the scenes footage of that. That was like a big deal, right? Like, and now it's like you got 2-3 hour long podcasts, and you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
I do like that too, though, because like this show, for example, you really get to a proper introduction of who that person is, right? Like it's
Oh, definitely.
not a facade or anything. It's just like you guys, like this is legit who you are and what you do. And we're just shooting the shit. I like that kind of stuff too, for sure.
And that's kind of what we're trying to achieve with the whole thing here, where people might not know Munro and Patrick, and then they see this episode and go like, hey, I want to check these guys out.
That's
the goal.
That's for sure.
Muse Canada is a new arts and entertainment media connection and support network. Skip the algorithms of social media and connect with other entertainment professionals across Canada. Sign up for just $5 a month or use the discount code FunkyMoose2021 for 10% off your subscription.
Mark, I'm not sure. So Mark's from Holland originally, but I don't know, Mark, when you were growing up, this is how it used to be back in the day here. There were like at least once a month, like at the hall, there would be a live band playing and it'd be just one big party. And the whole freaking town would go. It was like, it would be a fundraiser for events in the community or whatever. There'd be stag and stagettes, people getting married, and it'd be just a big freaking party, and you'd have a live band
and the whole town was there. The whole town was there. Parents and the kids and the grandkids and all the teenagers. Everybody's just having a blast together. And I grew up in a small community too, very small community, about 500 people at the time, Kennedy. And, if you didn't go out with your community, you didn't go out.
Yeah.
And you either hung out at the bar at the hockey rink.
Yeah.
Or at the hotel. And that's what you did. That's,
right. And there's none of that anymore.
No.
At all.
Like we did a small town New Year's this year.
It was great.
It was great. Oh my
God, we had so much fun.
But across the road, somebody had a house party.
Yeah.
It was lined up.
Yeah. Exactly.
And plus it was like minus 50 degrees. So
oh my God.
It wasn't as full as the people that thought it would be, right? You're just like,
could have crashed the house party.
Could've. But it was a lot of fun. But it was like all ages, so there was kids there, people dancing, having a great time. It was lots of fun.
Yeah. So I grew up in a city in Holland, and a small city. So we have community halls, but it's not for live music. Live music usually happens in the city at a bar or at a music venue. And we went to the bar to have drinks. And if there's a band, great. So the music scene is a little different in Holland, but Holland is also more focused on music festivals. So of course, spring to fall is a lot longer there than it is over here.
Oh, for sure.
So festivals almost every weekend throughout the country. And because the country is so small, you can just travel almost anywhere.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one thing I kind of miss in this area, and that's why Joel and I organize Moose Fest.
Oh, right.
Because we want that live music.
Yeah.
So
so you guys have Moose Fest?
Yeah. Yeah. So we
I didn't even know that.
Well, we had our first one this last August. And it was
we had 6 weeks to prepare for that. So we understand that not everybody knows what it is.
Mark keeps right, but like realistically, like Mark and I had been talking about it for years. Like we should throw on a festival. Like Bellevue is a perfect location to do so. Right, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and exactly. It's wide open out here, beautiful as you said. So we'd been talking about it for years and just never really had a push to do anything with it. Fast forward a few years, we start this show, we meet great people in the industry, and it was actually Earl Pereira from the Steadies that gave us the push that we needed. He's been on the show a couple times, and he phoned me up in the last summer, and he's like, hey Joel, like if you guys want to put on that festival that you guys are talking about, like the Steadies are available August 7th. And like, you've got dibs if you want to book us. So I called Mark right away and I'm like, hey, we can actually do this. Like we can book the Steadies. So that was a Friday night that Earl texted me. And by Sunday at supper time, we had 7 Mile Sun, League of Wolves, and the Steadies booked with the hall in Bellevue booked. Like everything was booked and ready to go.
We had the sound done. Yep.
Yeah. It was just like, hey, we're doing this. Do you want to come and play? Like how much? And everything just, it lined up. So within a few days, everything was booked. And then it was like, okay, now we got to promote this. Right.
Yeah.
So then,
we started Moose Fest kind of the same way we started this podcast. Just do it and we'll see what happens.
Right. If you book it, they will come. Right. And we chalked it up as a success. Like we didn't, we broke even. Like nobody made any money, but everybody who was there had a blast. Everyone freaking loved it. We needed it. We just happened to catch it in that window when like restrictions were lifted and everything. So like the timing was impeccable. Everything worked out. And then so we're actually currently planning next year's already. We've got the bands booked already. We've got this year's. Yeah. We've got the sound, the stage, everything's already booked. And we're like, haven't really been promoting it yet, but we should probably get on that. But it is happening. Yeah, definitely. And that was another thing. So far, everybody to play Moose Fest, the criteria, I guess, is you got to be a guest on the show to be able to play. So that's the first step. And I guess you could say we're already planning in 2023 because this year's all taken care of already. But
great.
Yeah,
well, we would love to play.
Heck yeah, you guys can come and party too. Like it was, oh man, we had so much freaking fun.
Well, you know what, I can tell you, this year we're really hoping to work.
Yeah. We're going to have to choose work over partying.
Right on.
Usually we try to combine the two.
Combine them,
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, no, it's been a blast. So many good things have come out of like just this show. A lot of friendships, a lot of events and stuff. It's awesome. I love it going to a show and actually knowing the people who are performing. Like I love that part of it. It was a little like not awkward, it's the wrong word, but it was kind of a little weird because of the pandemic, we had to do a lot of this stuff through Zoom. Actually, Mark and I typically do it in those chairs behind Mark, but
behind me,
we're trying to just keep it safe for right now. That's why we're in separate locations. But to have people like yourselves on a Zoom call and then going to see you guys perform, and it's like we already know each other. Do you know what I mean? Because we just spent however many hours together shooting the shit. So it's like it makes it comfortable, but a lot of fun. Yeah.
That was a fun thing about Moose Fest, I think, because the 3 bands that we haven't met in person until Moose Fest. So when they drove up to the hall, it was like, oh, you actually look the same as in person as on Zoom, but taller.
But you have pants on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm wearing sweats right now. You bet. Actually, here's a fun little story is that the Steadies, when they first started like a decade ago, one of their first shows was at Bellevue Hall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then 10 years later, we got them back for Moose Fest. So that was kind of cool.
That last year was their 10-year anniversary year, and they played the same hall.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Cool. Isn't that awesome how I love it when stuff like that it's like it was meant to be, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm gonna sidestep a little bit here. Where do you guys do your recording? Is that like, do you do it out of the house or do you have a studio?
No, like the recording that we did that's on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. We did actually at a friend of ours, Grant Sotnico. He's been a keyboard player for us and a friend for years. That we've met like on the road and played with a lot.
And a stellar sound man.
Yeah, and does sound, keyboard player. I think he sided my garage as well. We did the pipes in the basement too. He's an all-around good guy.
Nice.
So he was. We were just sitting around and we wanted to record, but of course we didn't want to do big budget studio recordings. We wanted the recordings to be more like how our show is, like more acoustic, but just beefed up a little bit with some tracks and more guitar tracks than what was originally planned at first. But that was
Of
happy.
course.
And so we were thinking of people, and we're like, why don't we just ask Grant?
That's Grant, yeah.
And he was like, for sure. He had just got some recording equipment and had been tweaking things and wanted to do a project. So it was just really good timing that he wanted to work on something, and we were kind of looking at it. It was kind of a slow, I mean, yeah, like Christmas last year, like 2020 was really slow because it was super restricted at that time.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not get these songs recorded while we have the time and promote it for spring. And so it just worked out. It was great working with him, and we had lots of fun doing it.
It was very, very, very low stress. You know, like we wanted the album to be reflective of how we knew we were gonna have to perform too. Is that, you know, we didn't want to produce an album with like a really big band sound when in the pandemic we couldn't record that way. It was against the law. We couldn't.
Oh, you could record
it was
that
like,
way,
but it was
play
huge,
that way for most
you know,
of the time, right?
you know, like I mean, we couldn't perform that way, and you know, we wanted it to be true of how we could perform for the summer tour and the rest of the dates.
Right.
So
well, that makes perfect sense too, and it's also like a stamp in time too. I love that. You know.
Yeah. And it's also, if you're recording with friends, it makes a like you said, a more relaxed atmosphere. Because I know bands that, you know, get a recording studio by the hour kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can tell, but in some cases you kind of have the feeling that an album is rushed because you know they only had so much time
because of budget.
I've done like big Nashville recordings like that where I'm learning the song that like the day before.
Right.
Oh,
you know, you go in and you have to track it. And it's like you're paying for it all, and it's by the hour and by the producer and all that.
Yeah.
It's not fun. You don't get. I don't think you get the same kind of product.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so you recorded in Nashville.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nashville is one of those cities that I want to go visit. I'm not a big country fan, but because Nashville is considered, you know, the capital of country music, I want to sit in the Bluebird and listen to some country music.
Right.
They have a big indie rock scene there too. Like lots of in there that are great. But it's the type of place that you can just walk from bar to bar, door to door, and watch a great live band like every day. Every night of the week.
So did you
3 or 4 bands a night that just come in and cycle through?
Did you go there just to record, or did you live there?
No, I didn't never live there. We went with my band Wyatt. We went to it was like we'd write and record. We did like 1 album there.
Cool.
Heck yeah. Right on. There's on the website too, I noticed. I got to tell you guys too, Mark and I don't do a whole crap ton of research before we have a guest because we want to keep it as like, this is the introduction, right? So it's like, I don't want to come in here knowing your Wikipedia page or anything, right? But there was something, I got to find it now.
Do you have a Wikipedia page?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
We should start one.
Oh, the singles.
Oh yeah.
Right? Can you guys talk about that a little bit? Because I didn't know about that until I was on your website.
There's like three or 4 projects we have together that are
like that project actually was the one that we met on or like started working together on, because like a friend of ours had put together a cover band, and they had the band, and then they asked me to play guitar and do some backups, and then that's how we met through that.
Right on.
So
who's the other members in that?
Well, Grant plays in it. Jesse Dawson, killer bass player, and our very good friend Brad King. He's
on drums.
He's
right.
hot percussionist.
So and a lot of those players play in all like Heidi has a few other projects that.
Right. Yeah, we have heard Brad's name on the show before too. If not that long ago, we had Graham Templeton.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was on the show, and we ended up talking about Brad, how Brad was the one who taught him how to do percussion and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of cool. And then I saw him in those demand videos, the Sastel, right? I saw him. I was like, oh, there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
right on. We should have him on the show too.
It sounds like he's the guy that everybody played with, much like Byron Matthijs from
Prince
PA.
Albert.
Yeah, everybody that plays guitar knows Byron.
Yeah, and everyone who plays percussion knows Brad.
Yeah, they do. They do.
That's awesome. We should get those two guys together.
Together, yeah.
Crack it out. That's something. We've actually got Byron's band Trader's Gate is booked for Moose Fest 2022. Watch Mark's gonna make me cut that out now.
Yeah, because we have an ongoing discussion. Joel wants to reveal the lineup, and I don't.
I keep saying who we have, and Mark keeps making me cut it out all the time. But I can tell you right now, we currently have.
You have to cut it out though.
Yeah, whatever. We've got Weapons is booked. We've got The Hour Hand out of Regina, Trader's Gate, and then two bands from Winnipeg, Northern Royals and Exomerda. So all like indie artists coming out, and they've all been on the show except for Trader's Gate. So that's the other thing too. If they don't come on the show, they can't play.
Oh,
well, it's a good trade-off. It's a good trade-off for sure.
Right? Definitely. Yeah, it's been a blast. I'm so freaking excited for it, man. I love it.
Do you guys have a lot of volunteers that step up to sell all the pop and all that kind of stuff?
Well,
not yet. You want a job?
Yeah. Bring some merch.
No, but it does. It takes a lot of people to make that happen.
For sure. Yeah, well, we got a couple ideas. Like I think for the alcohol side of things, like the beer tent or whatever it's going to be. The plan right now is to have Prairie Sun Brewery take care of that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yep. So I think it's basically what, not delegating it, but like Mark and I don't want to do that. I don't want to work the bar. Do you know what I mean? So it's, what's the word I'm looking for?
You're going to contract
outsource. Yeah. So we'll outsource a lot.
And we're not interested in doing a canteen or whatever, so food trucks are going to be there.
Yeah. It's not to make money or anything. It's just a party per se, right? Like we want to help promote these indie musicians, get them a gig, and just bring some music to Bellevue, Saskatchewan. That's all it's about.
That's fantastic. The community thanks you.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's been nothing but good things has been said about it. Actually, there was one thing that was said.
Can you repeat it?
Yes, there was. So there was one review on the website. You might have to cut this out, Joel, because
I probably will.
Okay, so there was one review on the website that the show was amazing, but the music was way too loud. I'm like, it's rock and roll.
I stood right in front of the speaker.
Probably right in front.
Table, too loud.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know what to respond. I'm like, it's a rock show. What do you want?
Well, you could have said, well, maybe next time you come, you can stand back for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Go stand by the bathroom.
Those little earplugs there that you put in your ear.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon comment.
It's always a comment. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. I bring my earplugs. If I go to the Coors Event Center, I bring earplugs because it's always so damn loud there.
Oh, not me, man. Not me. I like it loud and proud.
Yes, but you're deaf.
Yeah.
I like it loud too, and I'm either deaf or selective hearing, one or the other. I don't know.
Or both.
Right.
So what are your plans for the near future?
We are booking. Actually, we just booked 2 or 3 shows here in the last couple days. We're looking for spring, summer. We're starting to write again. We were in a bit of a slump there for a while, and just really concentrating on, I think, getting the wheels turning again.
Right.
And it's tough.
Well,
It is.
it's tough
It's a
because
little
it's like,
tough.
yeah, it's tough
Yeah.
because the landscape always changes,
Yeah.
right? Like from summer to, September, October, it's like you can have a whole bunch of shows booked and then you're either canceling them, postponing them, moving them around, or people aren't going because, the state of the
That's
world.
I'm very pro
Yeah.
pre-sale tickets.
Yeah.
Like it just irks me when people show up at the door all the time. It's like, why can't you just spend the $10 or $20, or even like, I have no problems dropping 50 or 60 on a show. And then because I'm in Bellevue, I have to then get a babysitter and then go out. Like, it's a night out for me. I have no issues in doing that at all.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I don't get why other people can't commit, right?
No, like we played over 100 shows last year. And
that's amazing.
Yeah. So we were pretty blessed to be a lot busier than a lot of people. But what we learned to do, because the landscape was crazy and you had to pivot so much, and really the artist is at the bottom of the food chain. When something gets canceled, it's like, hey, sorry, but we're not going to have you, and we're not going to pay you either, but we're going to make sure our ass is covered, or like, it was a tough time for everybody, and there's no blame laid. But bottom line is, we still need to be guaranteed something. So what we started to do in the contracts was, we were going to ask for our deposit. But if the world falls apart again and everything gets shut down, we're gonna move the date. Your deposit is good, for whether it's 6 months down the road or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there was just no security.
Yeah, we should get rid of the word canceling and start using rescheduling.
Yeah.
Like, because cancel means it's not happening. So reschedule it, right? That means it's still valid. Definitely. I agree 100%. I love it.
Yeah. And for
and
the
it's
most
worked.
part, that
has
worked.
Because
I love the deposit aspect of it too, for people that are listening. Like, that's something, like, I think you got all musicians, when you guys book a gig, I think you should have some type of
we do. But if you go to a photographer, if you have a contract to build your house, if you do whatever, they get a deposit on their work. It's like, why would an artist do that?
Exactly.
Exactly. So
I think that's great.
Yeah, it's just more commitment out of the venue or the buyer. And I mean, some stuff we were doing was like just backyard parties.
Oh yeah.
Backyard, just live music thing, and people are great with. Yeah, they'll pay the deposit. Some people paid more money than what you asked.
Yeah. Right.
Like you'd get a tip or whatever, which was great, but
for sure. Did you guys book those backyard shows like you're on your own, or was that something with like curbside concerts?
Yeah,
no. We those were just through connections we had, or people reaching out, like, just seeing it on Facebook or whatever.
And they were really good too about paying us our fee. We didn't really have to negotiate per se much. They were I think the public learned a lot, about the worth of artists and live music, and original music, because we were pushing the album, So no, it was great. I hope that we can have another summer like that, and that's one thing we hope doesn't change, with things getting back to normal and opening up, because when people host concerts, you actually get to be with the people you want to be with.
Yeah.
Not
with some guy spilling drinks on you next.
No. Guys like tripping over your pedals and spilling on you, and it's just like, but you know what I mean? You get to be with the people you want to be with and have fun with, and
for sure.
So it was great.
Right on.
I had a comment on that, but I don't remember what I wanted to say.
That's funny because I thought of a question and then I don't have it anymore either.
That's why we're such great
Yeah.
interviewers.
Yeah, we always make sure that the guest knows that we're not interviewers. We're just hanging out, man, because we're fans.
But you mentioned the curbside concerts. Well, Romy Mays, I connected with Romy quite a few years ago, and we actually connected this year about those concerts. So
nice.
So possibly, but we were booked every weekend last year. So
oh yeah,
probably from June to September we were busy. So
Romy Mays was episode 91.
Romy's awesome. She's crazy.
That was episode 91 on November 15th.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun. I was actually just talking to her 2 weeks ago.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
I was, yeah. I think she's got something in the works here. So she was asking me some stuff about that. So yeah, all the best. I want her back here too. Can't wait. Can't wait to see her live. For sure.
The last time she played in Saskatoon, I think she played at the Basement. And it was a great venue for her. And I believe she's coming back in the fall. So
right on.
Yeah.
She may have mentioned that.
Yeah, she might have. Yeah.
You guys got to go watch the episode to find out. Just kidding. And maybe Munro and Patrick will be sharing the stage with her. Maybe.
Yeah, like we're. I think we're.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
I think we're looking at it there.
That's what she always says. She's like,
I never.
Worst they can say is no.
You just ask, like whatever anymore.
True.
But I think we're actually going to be back there in the fall. So
nice.
At the Basement?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How far do you guys get to travel to play your music? Like, do you get outside of Saskatchewan quite often or not really? And like, let's make that question like, yes, like pre-COVID stuff, would you normally say you're outside?
In a normal year, it would have been more feasible to do that. And we could have like looked at those kind of avenues. Like the last couple of summers, it wasn't really worth.
We couldn't.
Like it was hard enough to know what was going on here to never know what's going on in Manitoba or Alberta, right? And just venues and stuff weren't as open to having people come in.
No, that makes sense.
How long have you been playing together?
Probably 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
3 years, okay.
I think so, yeah.
So you had about a year of normal gigging, and then the pandemic hit.
Like 2018, 2019, I was like,
we did a lot of band
I had to turn down work, like because sometimes I was playing like 5 days in a week,
I remember the one December, like before Christmas, we were playing. Oh gosh, we had like 15 gigs between December 1st and Christmas.
I remember from middle of November to like literally to December like 21st or 22nd.
Yeah.
And then we had some like I think after, like just after. Like it was just like, and then as I was looking at the year coming up, it was like, okay, I don't think I can do this one project because I'm just too busy.
Right. Well, how is that on your voices? Like, when you're scheduling, are you scheduling it so that you can maybe do, a few nights in a row and then give your voice a break, or do you guys just?
We really don't even think about it. We really don't. If you got it.
As long as you take care of yourself, like that's usually
right. And it's not.
And with us too, like we'll split a lot of the vocals, so it's not like you're just singing. Just one person singing like 40 songs
all the time,
or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So right.
Sometimes you misjudge the looking after your voice. Sometimes you do. At times. But it's good. Yeah.
Sounds like there's a story there.
There's probably lots of stories there.
Have you guys ever had to do like the little tricks where you've got like maybe tea and honey or whatever the trick is to like soothe your voice? Have you ever had to or be in a spot to have to do that to continue on the show or no?
For sure. Yeah.
not like for our stuff.
Well, not lately,
very
no.
often. No.
No.
Right. So what's the go-to trick there? What's the secret
Oh,
drink?
well, you know what I used to when you're singing a lot harder, I think, is I would actually boil water, and I would probably put about a quarter cup of Buckley's with it, and I would just boil the water, and I'd like drink it like tea, because honestly, there was like some nights like my throat was bleeding, like,
Oh wow.
and but you do it because you have to, like it's your job, and that's what you do. I don't
Right.
think I ever canceled because because my throat was sore or something. Never. So yeah, no, Buckley's in hot water for me. Possibly a little shot of something in there, but maybe a little one.
That always helps. That always helps. Yeah.
But you know what? It helped way better than like all this lemon and tea and honey and all that stuff.
Yeah. I forget what Jordan uses. Jordan had told me at one point.
Yeah, there's a special kind of tea. Yeah, he had it with him when when they played in PA.
In Prince Albert.
Yeah.
There's a few things out there. Like there's one
What
that's
do you use? Like
there's one that's like called throat coat formula.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I think that's what it was.
yeah. And then there's one like kind of, I forget what it's called, Ninjam or something. It's kind of like a cough syrup, like an Asian cough syrup.
Okay.
I haven't really found anything that like takes you from like, not being able to sing to magically
Singing
being
great.
able to sing. It's like sleep and water.
Sleep
like,
and water.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't have
definitely.
those, yeah.
Right on.
It's not like you play heavy metal, so you don't need the whiskey.
No.
No.
Don't need it.
Well, there is some rock and roll in there too, though. Awesome. Okay, so do you guys have, what would you say was the most memorable set that you guys had in the last 2 years together?
Oh
Yeah, probably like this past year's jazz festival.
Nice.
Yeah, like we headlined the Gardens on the Friday night with the big bands. We had the horns and everything there.
Oh yeah.
And
Cool.
And we did a few of our like originals that we
yeah.
hadn't ever done really with a band. So we did 2 or 3. So we had horn arrangements for them.
It was great. It was killer.
Yeah.
It was
It was like an 8-piece band. So it was like,
it was
it
huge.
was a lot of fun.
Oh,
And
Nice.
are there videos of that somewhere?
yeah, there
Yeah.
is. There is actually. We can send them to you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like this stage was, it's huge, and the lights and the people, and they're all dancing.
And everyone just
and
wanted to have a good time.
It was
It was like people were just
fantastic.
excited to be out and listening to music.
Fantastic night. Yeah.
Was Jazz Fest, wasn't that the same night as Moose Fest?
It was.
It was like
was?
in that
Maybe.
same like August. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was around
Yeah.
that same weekend.
That first weekend
Yeah.
of August or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
played
right.
the following weekend, but yeah.
But you know what though? But actually, when we wrote "Gimme Your Rain" for the album, because it was the last song on the album, and we really needed to write like a real cooker, a real dig down deep tune, and that is huge, memorable for me. Because we're really proud of that song. I think it's a great song.
It's definitely a banger
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
So the arrangement that you have on that YouTube video is different than the ones you have on streaming platforms, don't you?
For
No,
Give
it
Me
should be
Rain?
the same.
Yeah, it's the
Is
same.
it? Oh, okay.
It should be the same.
I might have
Right.
listened to a different song then.
Oh, I thought you were getting at it's at 13,000 views.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
That's amazing. I was looking at that too. I was like, wow, you guys have 130 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and that video is over 13,000 views. And then
Yeah, how does that happen?
holy crap, that's a good sign in my book.
I like how Heidi went, yeah, oh yeah, I know that. And Scott's like, oh.
Yeah,
It's funny when I'm doing applications where I'm like clicking the link to send the
Clicking the
video.
link.
Well, whatever it was, it worked.
Yeah, keep doing that. Yeah, that's awesome. Heck yeah. Right on. Are you, Heidi, are you at Sask Music as well? Or were you?
My ad SAS music?
Yeah, like we're
No. I had quite a bit to do with them, like during the pandemic and stuff. And I tended to be a bit of a loudmouth, like during all of the live music issues and everything. And there was a lot of conversations with Sask Music, but I've never worked for Sask Music. So
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of want you to elaborate a little bit more about the loudmouth comment.
Yeah.
They weren't really loud. It's just that like when they first had all the different like basically, our industry was restricted more than, besides restaurants and that, we were the first to close and the last to ever get any hope of opening with very little support
or any like
financial support or anything like that.
Horrible.
So she started up this Reopen Live Music.
And so there was the directors from like a lot of major platforms that I called up, Kevin from the SaskTel Jazz Festival, there was Kirby from the Broadway Theater, there was our MLA, there was production companies, major production companies, a lot of venue owners, and it was just wrong. Everything about it was wrong. So long story short, we ended up, there was a lot of CTV interviews. There was a lot of news interviews. John Gormley got on it. And oh my God, he was absolutely fantastic, because our video from the first SaskTel Max recording.
Oh yeah.
It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Pulled down.
It was pulled down because we didn't have masks on.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
It was a private recording. We actually drove to the gig together. We actually rehearsed in the same room together. We asked
the production company and they said, no,
They said, not a problem.
And we were all we were all the required distance apart. The camera guys were like, if they were within 20 feet of us, I'd be surprised. We wore masks like when we were sound checking and when we were like, if we were sitting with them and stuff. And then somebody complained and they informed us that it would be pulled down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, that makes me so irritated.
It was horrible. So then I just said, I said, this is about optics. It's not about being safe. It has nothing to do with it. It's about optics. Yeah. And so anyways, I got a hold of a friend who is very good friends with John Gormley. Mike Kuros actually does some hosting for him. And John wanted to talk right away, and he ripped SaskTel to bits for it right on the air, right across the province.
Good.
But it was really inconsistent, because a lot of major platforms and major things were bending the rules and nothing was said. And it was very, very, very apparent.
And some of the rules were changed, like without really any sort of, they're just in the rule book.
Yeah.
They changed things on a certain date, and we had recorded prior to that date or after that date.
Yeah.
Right. That's, you know what that makes me think of, Mark, is those CTV interviews that we did to promote Newsfest.
Yep.
So here's a funny one. So we got in touch with CTV News to promote the event.
Yeah.
And we get a call back. They were willing to do it, so that, we were pretty pumped about that. And then they were like, well, can you guys come to PA to do that? And we're like, well, the event isn't in Prince Albert. It's in Bellevue. Yeah. So whatever, we're still excited. We're like, yeah, okay, we'll come into Prince Albert and we'll do something in the park or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the park, and then they were asking us if we would wear masks. And at this time, there was no restrictions at this time. And we're like, but we're outside.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, I want to get 2 of them. Maybe we'll do one without masks, and we'll do another one. We'll just change the angle and do a second one with masks, and we'll air that one at a different time or whatever. And we're just like, but we're outside.
Yeah.
Like we're 6 feet apart. Like but it was optics again.
Yeah.
It was to keep everybody calm and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man,
And it
this
was
is why I love
company
this
policy.
show.
Yeah.
It's like we're in control. I've got some stories about SaskTel too, but that I can tell you. I'm not scared to say it, but
yeah.
I reached out to them about this show in particular, and I was like, hey, like, you guys I love that you guys are promoting like the musicians on the local on demand. And I watched those too, and I'm like, so we've been doing this show for a couple of years, and I don't know, like, but maybe there's something we could do together.
Yeah.
So I was in conversation with them, and I sent them the links to the episodes, and it just so happened that week's episode, I think the first few minutes of the show, there was a couple F-bombs that were dropped. And a couple like innuendo jokes with the band out of BC. And
that one. Okay.
Immediately got immediately got a response from them that it was just basically a flat out no because of the F word and some innuendo stuff. And I'm like, well, it's pretty unfortunate that out of 100 episodes that you look at that one in particular, like maybe 5 minutes of that one. I was like, did you see the one we did at Skull Creek Studios that's in like HD quality? And there's some F-bombs in that one too, but you know what I mean? Like my whole thing was that, if swearing is a problem, we can do an episode or two with no swears. Like that's not an issue. But it just made me like, I was like, I'm not changing anything. Like either you want to work with us or you don't, but I didn't like that. There was no negotiating, there was nothing. It was just like, no. And it's like, all right, well, we're better off without you anyway.
And Joelle and I are pretty much on the same page about almost everything. Of course, we have our differences here and there, but what we want to do with the show is, and actually with Moosefest too, we want to cut the red tape. Because that's the contracts are getting more and more complicated for no reason. We want to be able for artists to trust us on our words. And a handshake deal, that should be enough. That's what we're going to do. And that's,
well, it's not that we've never had a contract in place. Like if we're dealing with an artist that they want to, I understand, and I have no problem doing that as long as we're all happy. Like
exactly.
That's the whole thing, right? Can I tell the SaskTel thing about Moosefest?
Yeah, you might want to cut that out.
I will. I'm not going to air it, but I'm an open book. You guys.
20 minutes long.
Mark's the filter, is he?
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm an open book, but I'm hoping that comes into fruition. But it will. That's going to happen.
They were kind enough that they did record us later that year.
They did
at the Bez, which actually the footage was a lot better.
It was better.
It sounded, it looked great. So like that live stuff that you see there without masks was recorded outside.
Right.
And that was organized for that reason.
Right.
So, so they kind of worked with us, and it actually turned out to be, I think,
it was better. I think
a better experience and better footage, I think. So it kind of worked out.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, so is that the links that you sent me?
Yeah, those links. Yeah. Those links
I didn't show Mark yet.
Oh yeah, thanks, Joel.
Did you watch the Give Me a Rain video or no?
Yeah, I sure did.
Okay, so big plug here. The girl that actually shot that video, she started doing my promotional stuff probably 8 years ago, and she's done our stuff nonstop. She shot that video with one camera, and that
was the studio that we recorded in.
I recorded it.
Like, can you make this room look super cool?
Look really big. And her name is Nicole Bellhumor, and she's an incredible graphic artist, photographer, videographer. She's great.
I actually snooped her website and Instagram this afternoon.
Great.
That looks. It looks like she's doing very good work.
Like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and really edgy too, because we're not ones to to want to get the I'm graduating pose, or it's a wedding pose, or a family
Yeah.
yeah, like, you know, we're just not that, you know, you want something really artistic that speaks to what you do. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And something that you want to do as well. Like
oh,
that's
yeah,
what I love. It's like, yeah, you can only cater so much to everybody else. If you're not having fun and not enjoying what you're doing, then what the hell are you doing it for?
that's
Right?
Yeah.
exactly it. Yeah.
For sure. Can we talk a little bit about you guys were doing something with kind of like that. What was the name of that movie, Mark?
Oh, A Star is Born.
Oh, Stars Born.
Star
Yeah.
is Born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you pull up the project page on that on the website?
That's maybe where I had seen that. Yes.
Yeah.
Revisiting A Star is Born. Yeah.
Yeah. So how that show came about is that about 2 years before it was actually produced, I had gone to the jazz festival and talked to the artistic director, and we'd partnered on a few things, and he really wanted to present the show. He was very, very, very excited about it. It was going to headline the show. So then Scott and I met with Kevin, and the charts were getting made, the this and that, the backdrop. We did all the artwork. Everything was done. And
the date was booked.
The date,
rehearsals were booked. It was a 10-piece band.
Absolutely everything. It was enormous, a real undertaking. And then the world fell apart.
I was literally meeting with the guy who was doing the horn charts.
Yeah, when it happened.
And he was supposed to be playing with Alessia Cara that night or 2 days later at the Junos.
Yeah.
And it's like, ding, Junos are canceled. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just everything, just dominoes. And the emails kept coming. Sorry, this is canceled. Sorry, we're canceling you. Sorry, we're going, oh my God, what's happening?
Right. That's scary.
And you know, and that was like 2 years worth of work to get that show, you know, ready. So yeah.
So it never happened.
No.
We did a small Zoom, like just the two of us.
Yeah.
During like as soon as everything kind of went south, we just kind of made a plan to like do a live show every Friday at first, then it got moved to Sundays.
Yeah.
So that was one of them. So we did like a feature one where we sold tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
But there wasn't a band or anything.
No, it was just the two of us.
But
yeah, so the full thing never did happen.
Yeah. But
are you gonna try to do it?
Yeah, I think you guys should bring it back.
Yeah, like it will be probably pitched this year, but there's another major venue that is looking at it and has been looking at it for a while, but it's been very hard to predict, you know, ticket sales or whether the doors will be open. So and a lot of shows that were booked before the pandemic or during the pandemic that had to be canceled, those all have to be bumped up a year and a half. So you know, it is hard to even get your calendar going.
Oh yeah.
And that's another thing with the frickin' government is, you know, they say just because we're open doesn't mean we get to work. Our calendar isn't going to be full for probably 9 months, 10 months.
When you look at like momentum that would have been gained if we had done that show 2 years ago, we could have still been booking it like 3-4 times a year or more.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it's like
it's still in the can.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it was as soon as they opened stuff didn't mean that musicians' dates all of a sudden miraculously came back.
Right.
And every little kind of hiccup along the way now too with venues like kind of shutting down for a weekend or doing whatever, it's like that just pushes everything else back.
And they're not at full capacity. So that really it really affects their budgets.
Yeah.
And it is a 10-piece band, and there was like a lot of expense to build the show. So but that's pretty, I don't know, we'll just chalk that up to take it as another loss.
Chalk it up to good karma.
Good karma. Yeah, how's about that karma?
Oh man. Hey, you guys out there watching or listening out there, get your pre-tickets. Don't wait to the door. Anytime there's an artist out there that you guys want to see or listen to or whatever, like just buy the damn ticket. Like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Agree.
There it is. Boom.
So I have to be honest, I'm kind of this is I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'm kind of happy that it didn't happen because I would have been really sad if I missed it. So
Well, you'll definitely get a chance to see it. Yeah, like there was. We took songs from the Christopherson and Streisand 1976.
yeah, I see that on the in the pictures there.
And then the Gaga Cooper stuff.
Yeah, it was a fun like.
It was fun build. It was
fun
fun
to
to
play
build it.
this stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like the logos, and we
even reached out to Warner or whatever to see if we could use footage. Like it was.
Oh yeah.
We were going to use actual like sections or little bits of the movie, and
Right.
they said no. Of course.
Of course they said no, but you gotta ask.
Yeah,
That's right.
doesn't hurt to ask.
I applaud you for asking. I do that all the time. All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, he does all the time.
See, this is where Mark and I argue about it because I always say shoot for the stars and you'll land on the moon. And Mark's like, no, just aim for the moon.
Yeah. Because if you shoot for the stars and you land on the moon, that means you failed to reach the stars.
Such a Debbie Downer, eh?
But you're still up there somewhere.
Right?
Yeah. But that's not where I want it to be.
It's uninhabitable. But other than that,
Yeah, exactly.
overlooking that fact.
No, this is all good stuff, you guys. Like I can't like what is the you might have said this already, but when is the next nearest gig that you guys currently have booked? Like what
In Selbert.
Oh yeah.
Saturday.
We're playing in
On
a
Saturday.
furniture store.
Playing in a furniture store, yeah.
What?
Steady played at. That's what like.
Yeah, like Earl and his guys were there
I think for New Year's or something.
for New Year's. Yeah.
Is that
It's country comfort bedrooms. They
Oh,
just sit and they organize the tables, like whatever tables are for sale there. But from what I heard, and then they have like a supper and so we're playing like kind of a supper set, and then they want to party after.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah. Do you know where like do you need tickets to get in there or
No, I
don't
think
thi-
it's only a very
Like
elite group.
a private show?
It's a private. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a private thing, but we were at the Sheraton in Saskatoon for Valentine's Day, but then it was canceled.
Or it moved. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
something.
moved. But yeah, and
It wasn't canceled because of COVID. It
No.
was just canceled.
No.
Right.
No, and then the Saskatchewan Country Music Awards were supposed to be in Swift Current, just another music thing that was going on in the province, and then that's been announced that it's online,
Or virtual. Yeah.
virtual, yeah,
Right.
yeah, which
But-
is sad because everything's opening up and it's too bad, but yeah,
Now
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. Those tables that they're going to be using in that furniture
Yeah.
store, they're going to sell them again? Is that
I have
are
no
they
idea.
going?
That's
Well,
I
just-
think is that
Are they- Are they going to
Melanie?
be?
heavy discount.
yeah.
I wonder if
gonna be
that's Melanie
yeah.
Quinto putting that on.
No, it's
No,
it's
no.
Lori and Mark Twite. I think that's how you say his name,
Yeah.
Twite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Melanie owns Funky Fresh Bistro.
Right. Because she's had a couple of those private elite
Oh, has she?
Okay.
Oh, cool.
things.
Yeah.
I think she's had the Steadies play there before too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's literally in their I don't know, they have 4 tables there in their bistro, and then they have a back room. That's
So
it.
where's her bistro? Because I lived in PA for like 20
I think
years.
it's on River Street, isn't it?
No, on Central.
On
Oh,
Central?
on Central.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's Salvation Army. It's across
Okay.
the street from there.
Okay, so it probably would have been like right around by the Rock Trout.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
2 or 3 doors down. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Have you played there, the Rock Trout?
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a while ago. Yeah.
When
Actually, it's
Years
not the Rock
ago.
Trout anymore. I think it's called the Tartan Table now.
No.
It's back to the.
No,
Rock
actually, it's back.
Oh
to
yeah,
the-
it is. I can't keep. I
I
can't.
played at the Tartan Table, and she's like, "We played there." I'm like, "No, I've never played the Rock Trout." And she's like, "I was like, was it that little bar that we drove and played?" And she's like, "Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it." I was like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can't keep up with the name changes and the
Yeah.
owner changes
Well,
and
you
whatever.
know what though, and it's like super tough. It's like, it kind of reminds me of Bun Thompson, Saskatoon, just like the rock and just the shape of the room and everything. And it's a beautiful room. You wouldn't, you'd think that you were somewhere else. But it's been super tough. It's kind of a tough location, for people to park down there and feel good about it. And
yeah. And feel good about it. Yep.
I'm trying to. Cheese my word.
Yeah. No,
have you guys ever have you ever played, I'm sure you have, the EA Rawlinson in Prince Albert?
Yes. Yeah.
That's where we did the thing with Chris Henderson and Jack Sample.
And Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why that picture was taken.
Yep.
That's where that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then we were there with the full band. I think it was the November before, possibly.
Yeah. So before.
Yeah.
So a couple times.
Right on.
Yeah, and Jack and Chris and us went to the Decker Center as well. We were in North Battleford as well, and then the Broadway Theater here. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
What is out of all the venues that you played, which one's your favorite?
Oh.
Let me be a little bit more specific so that
that's always a loaded question.
You know what though?
Honestly, like there's the Happy Nun in Forge, Saskatchewan.
It is. It's
this old. I think it's the old post office that Leon and Gayla run, but it's like a restaurant or hall, or town hall.
Yeah.
And it's got like great little stage, and they have fabulous food there. It's unbelievable.
Right on.
We played there a couple times.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just because they're like great people and the food is great and like, it's
what's it called?
The Happy Nun.
The Happy Nun. And it's what you call a listening room,
Okay.
Like people are really there to listen to your music, and like the food is just like stuff we can't pronounce. It's like to die for.
Would it like when you say like the people are there to listen to your music, is that kind of like a basement vibe sort of thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like basically people buy tables.
Yeah.
And, and it's always great to go there. So, but there's a lot. Like there is a lot of
really cool venues. Like
the basement is like.
Oh, the basement's a fantastic venue to play. Like every place kind of gives you a different memory and a different feeling. Like the outdoor venues. Well, I mean the garden stage is like hands down. But that's not a takeaway from anything else because we did Bow Valley Jamboree last summer.
Well, that was lots of fun.
And it's down by Oxbow, Saskatchewan. And
we accidentally went into the United States.
Oh my God. When the borders were closed. And like all of a sudden I'm looking at my phone and
I'm like no cell service. It was all of a sudden AT&T.
I'm going AT&T and I'm going, okay. So like
it said you have crossed the American border, your data charges, whatever.
Yeah, really. That's when like no one was supposed to cross the border. I'm going, well, how easy was this? We're like down in a gravel road. And apparently we're in the States now.
We had no idea where we were.
Yeah.
She was calling her sister. She's like, well, where are you guys? I'm like, gravel road.
Like, I don't know, North Dakota. I don't know.
Near the white fence.
There was not a vehicle that we passed.
No.
There wasn't even a farmyard that we could find the lane to get to the farmyard.
No.
There were all these big farmyards.
Yeah.
So we had to I think we switched. Did we switch to AT&T
Yeah,
just so we
did.
could get service?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
And then we eventually
That's freaking hilarious. There's my clip for this episode.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's not the worst. That's not the worst. Getting to the kids' story.
When we went to the sand volleyball
court. We played the.
Oh my God! This
you may not be, but there's like the Trapala Music Festival.
Yeah.
It's in Camping Lake, like small. But we were playing. I think one of the organizers or whatever, his wedding. So he hired the singles to play at his wedding. So we went to the hotel first. In I forget a place nearby there, and then checked in to come back.
Yeah.
So we did like GPS Siri, Tramping Lake, Tripoli Music Festival, or it was actually the sound guy had pinned it because he said you won't GPS man find it.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, turn left here. I'm like, this looks like a farmer's field road. Okay, well maybe it'll turn to a real road.
And it was a dirt trail. It went from gravel to dirt,
cattle
to Heidi getting out of the car, and there's like 4 dudes in the car, and I'm the one that gets out to take the fence down. I was like, what is that? I looked at them and I said, like, what is
You're
this?
a farm girl. I'm
like fighting with this barbed wire fence, and all these little city boys are sitting in the car. So anyways, I get the fence down. So then the dirt trail turns into just a cattle trail going through the field. And we're literally on our way to a festival, and we're in the field with these cows.
And then it wound around. I could see a bridge that was like, okay, if we can get to this bridge, but it was like washed out in the middle.
Oh man.
So I didn't know, like, okay, well, we'll aim for this bridge because it looks like a paved road. So we're driving, like, grass is like as high as the bottom of my car. And I just have a little Nissan Kicks. And our keyboard player had his brand new, like, Lincoln, MK, whatever.
Yeah, he's obviously not a full-time musician. He's driving a Lincoln. So just saying.
So finally the bridge wasn't washed out. We get, like, I'm like, oh, we're okay. This looks good. And all of a sudden we see campers. We're like, yes, we've made it. So they go ahead in the Lincoln, and we have to get through this volleyball court, right? Sand volleyball court.
But we didn't know about the volleyball court until we were actually almost like right in the middle of it.
I got stuck.
We drove through because it was like trees, and then all of a sudden sand volleyball court. It was like out of a National Lampoon movie. And it was like, unreal.
It's nicely sanded, so I got stuck.
And these little kids are playing volleyball, and
they pushed us out,
and we come barreling through with the car on their volleyball court. Yeah, oh my god, it was hilarious.
It was terrible.
And was that festival? That was the place you had to be to?
It was the festival.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We just drove right through the volleyball court.
Oh, you guys came in the wrong side. It's like,
yeah, we figured that.
Yeah, we figured that out. So it was
crazy. That was fun though. It was good. But
that happens. It was the summer of getting lost on the way to the gig.
Yeah.
That's like if you put Bellevue in your GPS, you're gonna end up freaking north of St. Louis somewheres on a back road.
Yeah.
By the Phantom Light somewheres.
The funny thing is the road that we followed, the GPS was correct. So obviously somebody drove down this. Right? Because it was like, it was like, we followed it and it got us there.
But it was really bad.
It was
hilarious.
But just to note the Bow Valley Jamboree, like Oxbow isn't a really big community, and they almost have like a little amphitheater stage in this park. Yeah. It's like cement with like the big coverall and everything, and it's like a permanent festival stage just outside of their community. And that festival is really quite new. I think it's only been going maybe 4 or 5 years. But just another little killer festival in the province. So
see, Mark, if we can make Moose Fest big enough, we could do that too. If there was any profits that was to be made, we could build a stage.
Oh yeah.
That you're implying that we're ever gonna make
money doing it.
You know what, you guys, apply for a grant.
Well, I did make Moose Fest a non-profit organization.
Okay, but hang on. If we're getting a grant,
it will take you probably 3 years to fill out the grant application.
No doubt, right? There's so much silly paperwork.
I was, yeah.
But seriously, if we get a grant, we're not going to spend it on an amphitheater or whatever.
No,
it would be it goes to the artists, and it goes to putting the event
to the site,
there could be some funds there too. Like there's so one other idea I have, like we were talking about volunteers earlier, is I might see if here's an idea I have. If I go to like the daycare's kind of attached, it is attached to the school in Bellevue, like we're a very small community. And there was always like fundraising to be done for that and stuff. So I was thinking, well, if we could get, maybe 2 or 3 workers from the daycare to, you know, run a canteen or even check tickets at the door. And then we could like, then, you know, donate, you know, $500 or whatever for their time to the daycare or something. So it's kind of how I'm thinking of doing it.
Yeah.
One of the ideas anyways, but
what does that have to do with the grant?
Well, if the grant was in place, then we could donate more money than $500 to the...
This is how Joel's brain works. You have a conversation and all of a sudden
squirrel. Squirrel. It happens to me all the time. Scott, I have to get used to that all the time. It's like,
I swear I need to be on some kind of medication because like even as I'm talking, I'm thinking of like 3 separate ideas simultaneously as I'm talking here. So it's like I need to.
And then it's weird because he just all of a sudden stops talking mid-sentence and then he spaces out. Like, hello, dude.
Going towards the stars.
Yeah. There you go.
Watch out for the moon, buddy. It'll get you every time.
Yeah.
Hits you right in the eye.
Yeah. Too funny. No, it's been awesome. Yeah, I think where can we direct the people hanging out with us here to find you guys? Like, where's the best place?
We have like our website.
The website, Facebook, Instagram.
Which is MunroPatrickMusic.com.
Yeah.
Facebook, Munro and Patrick. Instagram, we're on there. Spotify, Munro and Patrick. Apple Music, Munro and Patrick.
Yeah.
Tidal.
Yeah.
Tidal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Tidal too, eh?
Yep.
Mark's very avid on Tidal.
It is. I'm a supporter of Tidal because Spotify doesn't pay enough.
Right.
Tidal is the platform that pays artists the most because it's run by artists, so they know. Yeah.
And it is on there. See, we learned something.
It is.
We didn't even know that.
There you go.
Wow. No, you know, and we will do anything from an acoustic show to like everything up to I'm a big band, so yeah.
Right on. We should get them to come play Bellevue one night too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have a private show for the town.
We would love it. We would absolutely love it. You bet.
Yeah. I think we can potentially make something like that happen.
We're gonna make that work.
Yep. Are you guys are definitely okay that we end this week's episode with a video, right?
Sure. For sure.
Yep,
we're good with it. And you guys promise that when you get to Saskatoon, you look us up and we'll go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Clubbing. Yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah.
I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind is bowling. I don't know.
Bowling.
Oh
we could go bowling.
They have a lounge at the bowling alley.
Yeah. Joel can't bowl.
It's clubbing.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I'll sit at the lounge.
There we go.
You guys, and I'll laugh at you bowling.
Sure.
So, okay, with that, we're going to say goodbye to the listeners. I will ask if you guys can just stay on with us for a few more minutes. That'd be great. So, I appreciate you guys coming on, man. This was a blast.
It was great. You know, you guys are really good at this.
Yeah.
A little Howard Stern maybe, but I don't know.
I wouldn't put us in that realm. No, we're just this is legit what it is, man. We just come on here.
Great. You're really, really good.
Like hanging out. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks for tuning in, you guys. And then
and cut.
And the cut.
Buried my heart 6 feet deep. Devil's dust still in my sleep. Thirsty skin, my bones are dry. Pour over me, make me rise. Give me your rain, your wicked spell. My eyes are burning, looking for that well. Give me your rain, your rolling thunder. Wash away this haunted slumber. Water on my tongue, drown me in the flood. Pull me up from this lonely grave. Give me your rain. I need your water.
Make it rain,
I need your water.
make it rain,
I need your water.
make it rain,
Oh, I need your water.
make it rain,
I need your water.
make it rain,
Oh, I need your water.
make it rain,
I need your water.
gonna make it rain,
I need your water. Make it rain. Give me your rain. Your rolling thunder. Wash away this haunted slumber. Water on my tongue. Drown me in the flood. Pull me up from this lonely grave. Oh, pull me up from this lonely grave. Give me your rain. Give me your rain. Buried my heart 6 feet deep.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba